Hi all. I can see people are joining in. Good to see that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And can I see some messages to confirm that you can hear me loud and clear? Yeah, can someone please confirm in the chat box that you can hear me loud and clear? Okay. Thanks, Jijesh. You have confirmed that, yeah, you can hear me. Thanks, Soumya. Thank you, Ritesh. Very loud and clear. So that was precise. Thanks for that. So I can see few more people are joining in. Okay, so let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start the session. Thank you, Aishi, for confirming. Debashish, thank for joining in. Good to see more people joining. So let's wait for a minute. Okay, I know you guys have joined for question answer sessions and we will start very soon. So let's wait for some couple of seconds. I can see more number of people are joining. Sorry, somebody have asked if I can speak French. Very sorry. This session is for English. Very sorry for that. Thank you. Thank you for confirming, John. Okay, so we are 2 minutes into the call. So let's start. So somebody said my exam is next week. Please give me some tips. Sure, sure. So during the question answer sessions, I will give a couple of tips. Okay, so wait for that. Wait for that, Pawan, and all the best for you to clear the exam. And I hope you'll do good. And I hope this session will also help many of you to appear for the exam and have some, better understanding of some of the concepts. So I'll try my best to convey some insights on some important concepts, and the question answer session definitely will help you. So let's start. Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. I know you people are joining from all around the globe and from different time zone. Okay, and I welcome each one of you, and I thank each one of you for joining this session. So this is the session conducted by EduHubSpot on weekly basis normally. Okay, but we are trying to catch up. Right now we are doing it bi-weekly, so slowly we'll catch up to conduct this weekly basis where 5 questions are discussed in the class. So in this session, okay, I'm going to discuss 5 questions from PMI practice, which will, okay, replicate the format of PMP exam. So how the questions are asked in the PMP exam, in the same format, we have some practice questions with us, and that's what we are going to discuss. Okay, so the people who have joined for the first time, so let me tell you how this works, the agenda of this session. So as I said, I have every session we bring in 5 questions from PMP practice test. Okay, and we will discuss that one by one. So I am going to post the question on the screen and I will give you 1 minute to answer. Fine. So you have to read the question and I'll start a timer on top of that. So within that 1 minute, you have to read the question and post your answer in this chat box. So please do read the question and post the answer in this chat box within a minute. I have only 30 minutes with me, okay, and 5 questions to be discussed. And trust me, this time I have brought bigger ones, okay. So last 2 sessions, people have commented, okay, you have not discussed multiple choices or certain topics. So based on your comment, this time I have chosen questions. So this time it was big questions, multiple choices, various topics. Okay, so on demand topics. So that's the reason I didn't give a particular topic for the session, and I've just said, it's PMP practice question. Or else we do give names like hybrid, agile, or particular area. So this time I'm not concentrating on one particular area. So based on the demand of you guys, okay, based on last session comments, I have picked up some topics. So let me see, okay, if I can give some insights, some clarifications on these concepts while discussing these five questions. Fine, and I hope the intent behind the session is to for you guys to take away something good, okay, something new learning from the session regarding your PMP preparations. So that's the intent behind the session, and let's get started without wasting any time. So I'm going to post number one question on the screen. So please read the question and try to answer within a minute. Okay, let's start. So one. So I'm starting the timer, and sorry, I have to scroll a little down for you guys to read. Okay, sorry, I have to minimize the size. So let me. Next question, maybe I'll try to increase. So let me. I'll give you more time. No worries on this. Yeah, here we go. So you can read the question and drop your answer in the chat. So you have to select the best two choices here. Yes, this session is live YouTube. So after this session, it will be there in YouTube. So you can access this anytime. Somebody have asked in the chat, so I'm just answered. I know it's a long read. Okay. So I'll give you guys some time to answer this. So let me give you more than a minute. So I'm still waiting for the first answer to be dropped here. No one have started answering. It's almost 2 minutes. Here you come. Suman, congratulations. You're the first one to post the answer here. Okay, the question is too big. Maybe, the font is not clear. If in case you're watching in mobile or somewhere, sorry for that. From next question, maybe it will be better. Fine. So many of you are answering A and E, A and C, A and C. So the fight is between A and E and A and C. Good to see. So many answers are dropping. So the fight is between A and C and A and E. So collectively, you all agree that A is correct. Now the confusion is between C and E. Fine. So let's see that. So let me explain the question now. So the question says a project manager is overseeing the development of an advanced AI-driven fraud detection system for a global financial institute. So you are seeing an overseeing a project. So whenever you read a PMP question, so this is the tip number one for today. So whenever you read a PMP question, don't get caught into the industry what they are specifying, right? So they are not asking you any industry specific question. It's project management. So for them to frame a question, they will specify an industries. Okay, so you don't have to fall for that. Fine. So understand the first line says you as a project manager, okay, you're overseeing a project. Simple as that. Fine. Now let's continue. The project is an execution phase. So it's an execution phase, number one, with multiple vendors involved. So you have multiple vendors also involved in delivering critical system components. Fine. Unexpectedly, a new financial regulation is passed. Now, a new financial regulation has come mandating stricter compliance measurements for AI based fraud detection systems, including enhanced data privacy controls and explainably in decision making. The regulation was enacted within the past month and applies to both ongoing and future projects. So the government have brought in a new strict regulation, okay, to be followed by any AI based fraud detection system. So that's what your project is doing. So it is directly impacting your project, right? Now what should the project manager do next? Select two options. Now option A, collectively you all have, said, so let me increase the size here. Let's get into the options with better resolution. Somebody was complaining about the resolution, right? So let's see this. So A says conduct a comprehensive regulatory impact assessment engaging compliances team, legal experts and system architect to analyze how the new requirement affect project objectives and third party contracts, right? So definitely A is also my first choice, where okay any such changes, look, regulation, okay, regulatory changes or compliance requirements are mandatory for any project, right? So whenever it comes, first you have to see how it is going to impact, you have to analyze it. Fine. So A says conduct a comprehensive regulatory impact assessment. Now with all the subject matter expert, you are not one expert that you can do by yourself as a PM, right? So the project manager have to sync with all the subject matter experts who can do a detailed analysis. So definitely A is the first choice. Fine. B says immediately initiate a scope modification and allocate additional budget. Now, the moment I read this half session, I know, okay, it's not a correct choice. Let's continue. Compliance requirement, ensuring the project is aligned with regulations as soon as possible. Right. Look, you have just got an compliance requirement, right? Even though it is mandatory, I cannot as a PM, you have to follow process. So second tip, as per PMI, PMP, you as a PM have to follow process. So even if the change or the new requirement is something that is mandatory, you have to follow the process. So immediately initiate a scope modification is not the correct choice. C, prioritize stakeholder engagement by consulting the project sponsor and key executive, explaining the impact of the regulations and determining whether the project should proceed. Now, this is not at all a stage where you're going to discuss such details about the project and the change, right? This is in a later phase. First you have to analyze, you have to see how it is going to impact, right? Then at the later stage, at the end, I would go for C if required. So definitely C is not my choice as a next step. Fine. Temporarily suspend all development work until a steering committee or regulatory advisory board provides definitive. I'll stop here itself, right? I cannot stop a project just because I got a new regulatory compliance. First, I have to analyze and see how it is going to impact my project and how I can bring in these changes, right? D is not a choice. E, evaluate whether the existing project deliverables and vendor contracts now. Because the question says there are multiple vendors involved in it, right? We have to check because of this change, okay, whether the vendor contracts can be renegotiated or adapted to incorporate the new compliance standards without significantly altering project constraints, ensuring business continuity. So definitely E and A is my best choice. Okay, the people who are confusing with C and E, C is also important. I won't say it's not important, but it is later part at the end. Okay, not now. So definitely A and E is my best choice. And yes, they are. Fine. So A and E is the best choice. Now, we took too much time on question one. Okay, I would request you guys, okay, to please answer within a minute or maybe 1 minute and some few seconds, not 2 minutes. Okay, so we are already running out of time, so let's go to next question. So let me start the timer here. Okay. And sorry, I have to, again, sorry, I have brought in too many big questions this time. I cannot, zoom too much here. So please, here is your second question. Again, you have to select two answers here because people demanded for multiple choices. I have brought more. Let's see who's going to drop the first answer here. Sorry, I won't talk through the question. Somebody have said they cannot read. Okay, it's over a minute. Can I see some answers? Okay, I can see some answers are coming in. Thanks for that. A and E, A and D, A and B, B and D. Okay. Now, this question have confused you guys a lot, it seems. I can see multiple choices. But yeah, I can see A is more common. So again, you guys are going with A for sure. But D, B is also confusing you guys. Okay, I have so many questions have answered have come. So let me read this now. Okay, a multinational corporation is undergoing a major restructuring, including leadership change at multiple levels. The project manager leading a strategically important infrastructure upgrade now reports to a newly appointed director who has an assertive and high pressure leadership style. Okay, the director has already provided critical feedback on the project progress without reviewing key details. Fine. So, additionally, there are indications that the corporate priorities may shift due to the restructuring. So, there is a organization level change going on. Okay, and it is impacting your project. That's what the question is actually about. Right. The project manager is concerned about how these changes might impact project execution and stakeholder alignment. Okay. Now, what should the project manager do next? So, in between, they have also put that the project manager is concerned about the change. These changes might impact the project execution and stakeholder alignment. So, these are the two major, you know, thinking or concern from the manager. Now, what the project manager have to do next, right? Again, select two options here. So let's read all the options. So let me increase the size. So as you people are saying you are not able to read, fine. So one more tip, okay, for the day. So when you read PMP questions, okay, these are complicated. Fine. So when you read the question, always keep in mind there will be one project situation, there will be one problem statement. And then there also they'll ask, okay, what they are expecting you to do. Either they might ask how to prevent the situation, or what you're going to do to solve the situation, or what you're going to do next. So here right now they are asking what should the project manager do next about the concerns, right? So you have to think from that prospect. And also when you read the question, and you already have in mind that these are the only two parts, you have to take it from the question. So with that intention, if you read, You don't have to read the question multiple times. So when you notice the way I have read, right, I understood what is the project, what is the problem statement, and now what they are asking about. Simple, right? So to, and also second tip, if in case you get a very tough question in your PMP exam, don't get stuck with it. Don't fall into a trap of getting stuck with one question for more than 2 minutes. I would recommend tough questions, go with 2 minutes, not more than that. Easy questions within 50 or 40 seconds. That's how you can balance, you can manage time. So, time management is very important for your PMP exams. So, let's read the options. Conduct an impact analysis to assess how the organization changes affect project scope, priorities, risk exposure, and stakeholder expectations before making any adjustments. So definitely, again, I'll go with A. It's perfect, right? So there is an organization level change which is going to impact your project. Now you have to understand, you have to analyze, okay, how it is going to impact your project and also the stakeholders' expectations. That was your concern actually. So definitely by analyzing it, you'll get an idea. So that should be your next step. Fine, analyzing. B, schedule an in-depth briefing session with the new supervisor, focusing on educating them about the project status, constraints, and strategic importance. Look, B is important. I won't say it's not. Okay, it is important, but right at this moment, okay, I don't see this is the next step I would do. Definitely, first I have to do the analysis. I have to understand what are the changes. Okay, and then only I'll go for B later stage, but not right away. Fine. So the statement is correct, okay, but not at this point. Fine. C, proactively implement the supervisor's recommendations to align with their expectations, ensuring continued executive support for the project. No way, right? The supervisor have not gone into the details. Without that, he have asked some implementations. So without, I cannot just go and directly implement them without doing the analysis. Fine. So C won't be my choice here. D, collaborate with key stakeholders, including senior management, to determine if any formal project adjustment, example, realignment to the new strategic goal. Of course, okay, definitely D is my next choice. Right, because that was my project as a project manager. That's what the question said was my concern was. Right, so collaborate with the key stakeholders, including senior management. So this option is particularly perfect for me. Fine. E says address the project team directly, emphasizing resilience and adaptability to shifting management style. Look, again, E is correct. Okay, the statement is correct, but I won't say that will be my next step for this particular question where my concern is something else, right? So A and D is perfectly fitting to my concern, okay, and the next immediate step that a PM should do in this circumstances where an organizational change is going on and it is impacting a project. Fine, so definitely A and D is my choice here, and let's try to submit that. And yes, A and D is the correct choice. Fine. So let's go to next question without wasting any time. And this time I'll make sure I'll keep myself in mute while you are answering the question. Sorry for that. So let me reduce the size a little. I'll give you more time, don't worry. Thank you, Sandeep. You have dropped the first answer. Congratulations. You have took a minute and a little more. Fine. Here I can see collectively you guys are going with option D. Okay, I can see one C in between. B. Okay, now I am getting more answers. B, C, D. Okay, let me read the question. So the question says during the final stage of a critical software development deployment, again, the industry is not important. Fine. So during a final stage of a critical software deployment, so final stage of the project, that what you have to understand. A project team identifies an opportunity to improvise system performance. The enhancement appears low risk, does not require additional resource, and aligns with the stakeholder expectations. If you see the change what they have anticipated or what they are looking at to improvise the system, one, it is low risk, okay, does not require any additional resource, or it is and also it is aligned with stakeholder expectations. It sounds good to me. Believing it to be a minor adjustment, the team implements the change without escalating it for formal review. Now that's the problem, right? So you got the problem statement here. Now, however, after deployment, the new functionality leads to unforeseen capability issues. Okay, compatibility. Sorry for that. Compatibility issues. Disrupting critical operations and requiring emergency fixes. This results in missed deadline, stakeholder dissatisfaction, and increased workload for the support team. Now, huge impact, big problem, project escalation, big project problem because of the small mistake what the team have done. Right. Now let's read what should have been done to prevent this situation. Now read the question carefully. They're asking how could have been prevented the situation. Right. So let's read the options here. A says control quality. So to ensure that any enhancements meets requirements, quality standards before implementing. Look, controlling quality is important, right? But here the problem was the team did not took a formal review on the change what they are trying to implement, right? So A is not the choice here. Validate scope. Validating scope is good. Okay, to confirm that all enhancement align with stakeholder expectations and project requirements. B is good actually. Okay, I won't strike it. I will keep it with me. Okay, let's see if we can find out better option. Now when you're answering your PMP questions, that is important. Don't go with one good answer. You have to keep reading. Okay, C, monitor risk. To proactively assess and mitigate potential risk introduced by undocumented changes. Look, undocumented changes, I won't support the statement. Okay, that is incorrect. But before what they said, any changes comes, okay, you have to do the risk analysis on that. That is for sure. Okay, so I won't say C is completely wrong, but the second statement, undocumented changes, I won't go with that. Fine. D, perform integrated change control to formally evaluate and approve the enhancement before implementation. Perfect. You guys are correct. D is the perfect answer here. Right. So definitely validating scope is important. But if I had implemented the change control system properly in this case, right, this problem could have been avoided. Right. So when a change is implemented, any changes, the team has to put through a formal approval process. When you have a very good change management system defined for your project. Right. So whenever a change comes in as a PM, you have to document the change in change log. Number two, you have to do the detailed analysis of it, how it is going to impact the project from 360-degree angle, how it is going to impact the scope, the schedule, okay, the budget, the risk, quality, all aspects. And then a detailed report has to be submitted to change control board. And with change control board will take the decision, okay, whether to implement the change or not. That is the formal approval process. So that's what team have missed here and which have brought in such a huge problem in the project. Fine. So implementing a change control system is very important to run your project successfully. Fine. So let's go to question number 4. So let's submit D. Okay. So that's the correct choice. So let's go to the next question. Let me see if I can increase the size, if in case you guys are not able to read it. Okay, this should be good. Okay, I'm not switching on the timer here. Let's start the question now. Thank you, Joyce. You're the first one to answer the question. Good to see that. And the answers are followed by many. Okay, I can see A, D, B. Okay, A, D, B. These are the choices. A, D, B. Okay, I can see close fight between A, D, and B. Many are going for A, B, and D. Fine. Let's see. Let me read the question now. A project manager is overseeing a project that includes an agile based component. Fine. So that you're doing agile project here, right? So a project manager is overseeing a project that includes, sorry, it says it includes an agile based component. The project sponsor requests the addition of a new component that involves government regulations with complex tax rules. Sufficient time has been allocated for implementation, and the sponsor suggests using a predictive, okay, non-agile approach due to the complexity and regulatory requirements. Right. Because it is a compliance or regulatory requirements, the sponsor is suggesting to go with a predictive model. But already in this project, you're working on an agile component. Right. What methodology should the project manager use for this new component? Fine. So A says, okay, implement agile for the new component as iterative development allows for incremental compliance testing and accommodate evolving regulatory interpretations, reducing late stage risk. Look, why you have to do agile? Yes, second part is explaining very well, right? But when it comes to a compliance requirement or regulatory requirement, you don't need changes on that. You don't need any you know advancements on that, right? So that's the reason your sponsor also concerned that this is a fixed requirement. So the reason for you to go for a predictive project, okay, model is when the requirements are fixed and you don't want to accommodate any changes on that. And when it comes to regulatory or compliance, okay, you cannot allow any changes. Fine. And agile organically, okay, adopts or welcomes changes, right? That's how it is designed. So if I start as talking about agile, I need at least half an hour, right? So I won't go into that. But anyways, A is not a correct choice for this question because yes, these requirements is better to be done in predictive. B, adopt a hybrid model, continue managing the existing agile component using agile while applying predictive model for a new government regulated component, ensuring compliance with regulatory constraints. Perfect. B is the perfect choice for me. Fine. So B is the perfect choice where I'm saying the agile component, let's continue in agile way. That is the reason it was done in agile way, right? Because it expected those kind of changes and enhancement and make the product better, right? Agile projects are change driven. It is known as value driven. Change driven, value driven, both are same. The reason we welcome change in agile projects are to add value to the product. Right. So while applying predictive methodology for the new government regulated component, the new component which has a fixed scope, okay, it is better to do that in predictive way. Right. So when you mix agile and predictive in any ways, okay, then your project is hybrid. So B is the perfect choice here. Fine. C says transition both the existing agile component and new government related component to fully into predictive, plan driven approach. Look, why you have to do that? When the first component is agile based, okay, why you have to forcefully take it and do it in a predictive model, right? So better ways B, which is adaptive. C will force you to do a component which was supposed to be done in agile way. First in place, why you went for agile way in that component? Definitely the reason will be the need for that, project or the product development is agile way, right? That's the reason you are selected for that. Now you don't have to forcefully drag it to be predictive because the other component has to be done in predictive, right? So that's the reason you have hybrid model. Why you do projects in hybrid model? The reason is there are only two reasons. One, when an organization want to transform from predictive to agile way, right? So any organization cannot transform in a day, right? They have to do it slowly. So for that reason they adopt hybrid and do it. And second, project situations where you have to execute some part in agile, some part in predictive, again you have to go with hybrid way. So B is the best choice. D, conduct a stakeholder impact analysis and evaluate the regulatory landscape before finalizing a methodology, ensuring that both components align with business priorities and compliance mandate. Look, you as a PM, okay, you can take the decision how to run the project. Now, how to implement the changes, how to implement the scope, those things, if you need SMEs help, yeah, you can take. But when you know one part has to be done in agile way, the second in predictive, hybrid model is the best one as a PM you can go for. And B would be my best choice here. And that's the best choice. Fine. So let's go to the next question. We are already out of time. I'm 8 minutes late. Anyways, let's finish this question quickly. Again, you have to choose the best two choices here. So I'll be in silent for a minute and then let's discuss this question. And sorry, by mistake I have selected B, so don't think that's the answer. Please don't think that. And this is choose two choices. Here you have to answer two. Okay, Rinky, you are the first one to drop the answer. Congratulations. So C, D, B, C, B, D. Okay, three different options I have received. Okay, okay, one more C and D. B and D. Okay, so I'm getting mixed answers here. B, C, B, D, C, D. Okay, all are mixed. So let's discuss this question while you're dropping the answers. Okay. So the question says a company with a deeply entrenched predictive project management culture hires an experienced agile certified project manager to support an enterprise wide shift towards agile methodologies. Fine. However, the organization remains skeptical about agile benefits and key stakeholders are resistant to the change. Right now, organization wants to transform. They are bringing a change. Okay, they're planning, not bringing. They're planning to bring a change to transform into agile methodologies, and they were actually hardcore. Okay, predictive project management culture they have. Right now, definitely, it's very natural. The stakeholders will be resistant there. Right now, that is the problem statement. Now, what is the question about? Which two actions should the project manager take first to effectively facilitate agile adoption? Now, please read it carefully. Okay, which two actions should the project manager take first to effectively facilitate agile adoption while addressing stakeholder concerns? Fine. So you have to address the stakeholder concern, number one. Second, how you're going to adopt, not implement, how we are going to adopt, right? So let's read. A says establish an agile centric center of excellence, COE, to standardize agile practices and mandate their use across all the teams. Look, A is a good option when you decided to go with agile methodology, to convert or to transform into agile ways. So definitely agile center of excellence will help you to implement agile practices across your organization with some standards, okay, to make sure everybody are following the agile practices, everybody are being agile, right? So A is not a answer here to adopt agile and also to address the stakeholder concerns. A is not a choice. A is when you decided to transform into agile, now how you to implement it across the organizations, then yes, A would come. B, evaluate the organization's existing workflow, culture, and leadership mindset to determine the best fit agile approach before making changes. Again, right now, we are not yet in a stage where to decide which agile approaches is good for this organization. Right now, you have to answer the stakeholders' concerns. They are resistant, right? And how to adopt to agile. That's what we have to think. Again, B is after you decided how to, let's say you decided to transform 5 or 6 projects into agile way. Now you're determining which is better. Fine. C, educate leadership and key stakeholders on how agile improves business value, reduce risk, and enhance adaptability in uncertain environment. Best. C is the best choice. Okay, to answer my stakeholder concerns, to remove the resistance from them, right? So you have to make them understand why they have recruited you as an agile expert, so that you can bring in that knowledge here, you can give the knowledge to others here, right? And here, C, okay, to educate the leadership and the key stakeholders on how agile improves business value, reduces risk, and enhances adaptability is the best way, okay, to bring all the stakeholders to your side, and also to make them believe agile is for good for the organization, right? C is my first choice. Now, conduct polite conduct pilot agile initiatives focused on incremental value delivery to demonstrate tangible benefits before advocating for a broader agile transformation. Again, beautiful. D is a very good choice here, right? Again, this one will also allow me. Okay, I have a technical problem, it's not allowing me to select. Okay, sorry, I have selected B, that's the reason, right? So D is definitely best choice here, where I'm just showing them practically, okay, doing an agile project by doing an giving an incremental value delivery. Why you would go for agile project? So that you can reach market earlier, one of the reasons, not all the reasons, so that you can deliver value sooner. Right. So focus when you do some pilot small projects, to focus on incremental value delivery to demonstrate. You're practically showing them how tangible benefits out of the project can be gained for the organization. Okay, such earlier stages compared to predictive projects. So just without just talking them, okay, giving a practical example will much make a very big difference, and the concerns of stakeholders will be reduced. From resistant, they'll start becoming slowly supportive for these decisions. right? So definitely C and D is the best choice for this question. And E says replace detailed and upfront planning with rolling wave planning and iterative backlog refinement. Definitely not my choice to going for adoption. Again, implementation may be E. So when I say A and B, those are not incorrect. Okay, but for this question, C and D is the best choice. One, how to adopt agile practices. Two, how to bring the stakeholders from resistant to supportive. Right. So definitely C and D is my best choice here. And let's submit this. That's the best choice. Fine. So yeah, I'm already too delayed with the session because these questions were too huge, and definitely I need some time to explain these questions. So sorry guys, extending the session for more than 15 minutes. Okay, I'm really sorry for that, but I hope you guys have learned something out of these discussions. Okay, I was not able to bring in too many conceptual explanation. The reason is the question themselves were too huge right? And definitely I cannot explain more on top of that. So but still I believe you guys have learned something out of this. Now if you ask me, Nitish, there will be so many multiple choice questions in PMP exam. No, in general, we don't see too many multiple choice questions, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, but yeah, you practice each and every question in PMP exam matters. For me, question number 1 till 180 is important. Fine. And also, okay, every question is important. So one thing, remember, don't get into trap of such big questions and spend more than 2 minutes in it, right? You will fall here if in case you're going to spend, let's say, 5 minutes on five difficult question. You took 25 minutes to answer five questions, remember that. And your exam is only for 180 minutes, sorry, 230 minutes. In 230 minutes you have to answer 180 questions, which is like one question is allowed to answer within 1 minute 16 seconds, right? So 1 minute 16 seconds on an average you get for each question. So if you fall into trap for tough questions and you're going to spend more than 2 minutes on difficult questions, then time management will be very difficult when it comes to 180 questions. So try to manage time. Tough questions try to answer within 2 minutes, maximum 2 minutes I would say. And easy questions you answer 40 to 50 seconds. That's what I always tell in my class, right? Then you can easily manage the time. And definitely we have tips for overall how to manage 180 minutes. Definitely I'll coming in moving forward sessions, I will bring some tips on that. Fine. And again, what all topics I'm speaking here, I'm making it in a capsule size so that I can fit in this 30 minutes and this answer also, right? But when it comes to conceptual understanding or explanation in the classes, each topics are in 20, 30, or even hours, right? So please understand that I'm not explaining the whole concept, but yeah, to restricting myself to time and the topic for this question. Fine. So thanks a lot. I hope you guys have took some learning. So please do like this video after once this session is over. Ask your friends, okay, who all are PMP aspirants who want to do PMP. Ask them to watch this video. Okay, ask them also to like and also to comment. What is the next topic you want? Okay, so comment in the session what topic you want, and we will definitely bring in next session with the same topics. So last time people asked me for these topics and also multiple choices. There's a reason this time I have designed this question answer session in such way. Okay, so we do respect your feedbacks. So please do drop messages to the same video, and I'll pick up the topics and the type of questions you're expecting. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I did. Okay, I did from bottom of my heart. Thank you, and please do attend these sessions. And I thank every one of you on behalf of EduHubSpot. Thanks all. Thank you all. I can see some messages. Yeah, you can drop some messages if you like the session, and thank you for so many lovely messages. Thanks a lot. See you next question answer session. Thank you.